Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New
Yeah, Happy New
Year.
Year, Monica, Latte. Welcome to 2024.
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
nice, right?
I like it so far, you know. But I wanted to just like get together and reflect. It's that time of year. Everybody's got their New Year's resolutions. It's that moment where you reflect on the past. We sent out at the end of the year our Seaberry favorite things, which we love to do, where we just think about all the good stuff that happened in the year that we love. And then also big things, hopes for 2024. Like we're like back out there. We got back out there in 2023. It's been so wonderful to be out and about again without all the, a little less PTSD I think I had this year being out and about than last year. So thinking back on 2023, what stands out for you guys? What were the big things the year that's gone?
I think is the year that we got to get out. And so everybody in Seaberry got to have lunches together. And those were really successful and a whole lot of fun. And we're going to do a lot more of that this year. And I think just being able to get out, we've been really busy. We've been so busy this year that I kind of worry that people aren't getting to get out. But at least there's that option, and that we didn't even have that option before to even get out. We just had to stay in. We don't have to stay in, but now we do have to stay in because we have so much work.
I wonder if like everybody kind of also like went overboard too, like with the fact that we could get out. I wonder if this year is gonna like level off a little bit more. If we were all like so gung ho to catch back up, if that like played a role in it or.
I don't know. I feel like post-pandemic, there's just this real desire to explore the world. It's like a double down. Just call this, maybe 2024 is the year of the double down, because I just feel this real need to be out and about. And honestly, look, with Seaberry, also Seaberry expanded, so there are a lot more people. So just being able to meet more people and really spend time with them and really just kind of get to know everybody it's really cool. So I think it's just going to be more and more. Like maybe 223 was the year of an increase, and maybe 224 is going to be the year of more.
I have a graphic, it's in my head, that is like a barometer of how much you're going to get out or how good things are. And what it is you notice that there were a lot of holiday decorations, and people started putting out holiday decorations in November, mid-November.
Yeah.
That means things are going to be good. Because in 2008 and 2009, people weren't even putting out holiday decorations. So we could make a graph on, but we can't, because we don't have the data.
But we have the skill.
How many holiday decorations were put out each year and when they were put out. And I think people are feeling really good when they put their decorations out.
I like that. I mean, it's definitely a hypothesis. It doesn't need to be in pure facts. You could definitely create a curve that, and you can make that curve in candy canes and other things that just shows.
I wish I had kept the, like 2008, 2009. I mean, people were talking about it. They were like, nobody's putting out decorations. What's going on? And it was really quiet. And then different years, but so that was a really good thing about 2023, that Seaberry was busy.
Yeah.
I hope not too busy.
No, I was happy busy.
Okay. I think most people
were happy busy. It was exciting, and we had so many new personalities and perspectives join the crew this year that like our morning meetings were so long. There was so much really cool critiquing going on of just all these new ideas and thoughts, and it was in everything. It infused everything with this excitement that even when I was like working late, it was always on stuff that I wanted to do. Plus, I love the fact that so much of what we do is creative anyway. So, biggest design takeaway from 2023. Go. Latte first.
Well, I mean, I think we've talked about this a little bit, but the influence of AI into design, it was incredible to be able to start to play around with it as an iterative tool. I mean, it just honestly, it just added a conversational piece to the mix for me. It was really fun to be able to do all kinds of things, like do better voiceover control where the audio was really mixed up and bad, and to improve on that, and then to just turn to ChatGPT and just toss at it in a very intimidating way. My first conversation, I was like, I don't trust this thing. I'm going to set in like, hi, just a minor little thing. And it was fun to see that back and forth start to happen. Now, honestly, I just really enjoy it to toss an initial thought that might feel half-baked, and for it to just kind of percolate on that and come back with something and just, kind of give you a little pat on the shoulder and say, I love that beginning of an idea. It's very rewarding, honestly. So for me, I would say that the biggest adjustment to my design tools was adding ChatGPT and other AI tools into the mix.
I have to agree with you, Latte. Even though I don't use AI knowingly in design, in the visual design, but using Grammarly, and that's AI, and that changes, your writing style. But I can tell it's AI. I can tell it's AI writing. So then I have to go back again and say, let me put Monica in this, because it's kind of a little bit robotic.
Monica's very happy and like, you
Yeah,
got energy, Julia?
My Grammarly isn't feeling that well. They're not that happy. They're really serious though. They are. The Grammarly is serious.
Yeah, and on the ChatGPT side, it tends to say, it'll say what it's gonna say, and then it will repeat it again, which is, it's like that old adage that you're supposed to do in speeches, but that sounds so boring in a speech.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I feel like
so it has a little ways to go, but it's gonna get there.
Yeah,
it's gonna get there.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
2023 for me was a year first. We started the podcast. That was awesome.
Yep.
And then I feel like I got a lot of new mottos in conversations with guests, or just finally being back out in the world talking to people. Monica went to a conference where she came back with "Be bold." Torrin, in one of our conversations, he said "Be brave," which I loved. Then there was, when we were talking at one of our podcasts, was the idea of try it another way and try it again, which is something that we do, but just one of our guests, this one hasn't gone yet, but y'all will see it later, has a post-it where it just keeps that post-it there. It's like, try it again. And then just being flexible, the idea of being flexible and being wobbly kept coming. Wobbly as in like, it's okay if my path goes this way or this way or this way to get to the thing that you want. And all those things, I feel like there's stuff that you have in the back of your mind, but it's so nice to be reminded of it in like a motto form in conversation. You're like, yes, okay. And, it lasts in your brain for a few weeks, months, hopefully years, before somebody has to remind you.
Try it another way. Yeah, that try it another way is like the Jasper Johns quote that we had up on Seaberry. Do something to that, and then do something.
Yeah.
But try it another way is even different. Yeah.
What was the expression again, Monica? Or the quote?
Jasper Johns. I think it was do something to that, and then do something to that.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
it's great. So all those mottos.
So you're not finished. Just because you look at it, well, you think it's finished. Well, do something to it, and then do something else to it. And just keep going. Because we have to keep going a lot.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think.
Then it goes to QA. Somebody sees something else.
Yeah, and there's a stopping point. I think that I've realized, like, I used to accidentally aim for perfection. I didn't want to, but I'd aim for perfection, which is just a false. It's impossible to achieve perfection. But excellence, you can achieve excellence. So do something to do something to that. Once you get to that point of it being excellent, is the place where you just stop or time runs out. but I like that.
Well, don't you think excellence is perfection?
No.
What's the difference?
Perfection is where it's not just that you've exhausted all thinking and kind of timing, but you're really, that it can never be tested or questioned in any aspect of it. It's this very, for people that tend to be perfectionists, it's this very intimidating place where it's everybody, it's personal anxiety and stress and all these things wound into one, where any critique of the thing that you've tried to achieve and you've gotten to, if there's any possibility that there's a problem with it, it could fall down like a stack of cards. Whereas excellence, it's kind of like, it's undeniable. It's something that you can achieve and you can get to, and people can say, yeah, this is really great. It's a step above really great. Whereas perfection, I think that there's personal anxiety that's wrapped up in perfectionism, which is, so it's almost like a self-critique where you just can't achieve it. Whereas excellence can be this thing that, I'm describing this to you as I'm kind of trying to frame it for myself. So excellence is awesome. It's a great place to be. Perfection is just really dangerous because it's kind of like the ego is so fragile that it can just fall down.
Excellence is like an acknowledgement that you've reached a certain level of greatness.
Yeah.
Even if there's still room to grow.
Yes.
Or
there's still room to grow.
Perfectionism means that there's nowhere else. It's perfect. There's nowhere else to take it.
Yeah, and I think it's fragile. I think the thing about it is, like, if you think about athletes that have been framed as being, having a perfect game or perfect score, if you actually talk with them about that moment, oftentimes they're just like, yeah, and I'm an anxious ball, at this point in time. It's not a good place to be. It's like Simone Biles being at the top of her game, but when she's tried to achieve perfection, she was the one that actually realized, no, I have to stop. Like, I can be, I have to stop in this moment. It's not healthy for me, right? Even though her score might have ended up being perfect, it was unhealthy for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I think I know what you mean too.
And yeah, I think
perfection takes the fun out of it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
There you go.
Excellence, even if you look at it, because when you were describing it, you were talking about, sounded like you were talking about an emotional state. But if you look at a work of art or something that you've produced, if it's perfect, it could be kind of boring. But if it's excellent, then there's some fun in it, some exploration in it. I remember Berry Gordy used to tell the Jackson 5, Jermaine, I think it was fussing because Michael would make mistakes when he was singing and when he would talk, because he was a little kid. And Berry Gordy said, no, I love the mistakes. That's what makes it good. That's probably what made it excellent.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's beautiful.
We just went somewhere totally. We just got a whole new thing. Excellent.
We didn't even talk about 2024, right?
Yeah, but speaking of 2024.
We did talk about 2024. Because that's going to be the year of excellence.
I like that. Yeah.
2024. This year of excellence. Well, this year, 2024, what do you see, hope for, predictions, what you want for the creative community, what you want for yourself, anything?
Well, I just came up with a t-shirt. No perfection, just excellence.
Ooh.
That's what I want.
We should make this.
I like it.
Yeah, I know. And then Seaberry. Put Seaberry.
Of course.
And then Seaberry.
No perfection, just 2020.
I like that. Latte, you got anything? Oh, I know for me, but...
Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear.
So I feel like, to Monica's point about 2023, with it being so busy, plus just the stage of life that I'm in, I really want to get back into some outside of work creative expression stuff on the regular. I don't know whether that's like regular trips to the museum to absorb stuff or just becoming somebody who's like into the really cool coloring books or something, but I feel like I need to set aside more Adya creativity time somehow.
I love that. Yeah, that's great. I think for me, it's probably joining another makerspace as far as personal exploration. Right back there is my 3D printer, but that's only one tool. That's one tool in a very, very large kit of tools that I love having access to. So, I want a laser cutter again, and ShopBot, and quite frankly, a larger woodworking access. And there are just so many kinds of tools that I really miss using. I was doing a lot of that stuff, and as a product designer, it's really useful for me to have access to tools that allow me to work in 3 dimensions.
Would you have to go back to the maker spaces that you designed in Philly, or
No. They've expanded. There's so many now. So I would just have to join one locally, which is, it's carving out time. Probably what it means is I would work part of the day from one and then do makerspace work. Like, imagine I could drop off the kids and then just head directly over there and do my, the work for Seaberry and a whole bunch of projects, and then move on to other things. I don't know, something like that. So that would probably be the right way to carve up things. It's not a weekend thing, because the kids are the weekend thing. So it's just figuring out how that would actually work.
Okay, so what should be our last thing, our end thing?
Oh, how about a prediction? What's a prediction for 2024? It could be a color trend or something exciting that you imagine,
Trend.
or even something that, like an out of the box, request, or a thought, something you've always thought about doing with a client, or you've wanted to work with a client, something like that. Like, what's the kind of project that you've always wanted to do, either personally or professionally, that you haven't had a chance to do yet? So what would that be in 2024? What's the prediction of what you might be able to get to or get at?
Well, for me, I am a terrible sculptor. And I want to practice it. I just don't see things in 3D. And I think I predict that I'm gonna create a decent piece of sculpture. You all have seen the thing that I have on my table, dining room table. People call it the sheep. What is it? It just came out to be what it came out to be. But I've got to work on sculpture. So I'm going to make a beautiful work of art that's 3D.
Love it.
That's my prediction.
That's great.
That you're going to do that? That's the prediction? That's too easy.
That's great.
Because I could just go do it, right?
Do it.
Yeah, but
Okay. So
but what
this
about?
has to be a prediction about the world,
Or
right?
design world.
About something
Or something
that I
Okay.
can't control.
Okay.
Something that I can't control. Well, okay. I look at a lot of interior design sites. I mean, so many. Like, all my feeds and any of my social media is just design sites. Oh, here's the best kitchen, best living room, best. So I predict that design is going to be more involved with textures. Because it's starting now, like the furniture is starting to have more texture instead of all furniture being whatever that stuff was. Now there's velvet, now there's hair, or, they have bumpy textures. And I think we're going to get into more texture in design.
Well, I
of
like that.
buildings.
I like that a lot. That's cool.
I think
Remember that house with the pieces of wood for the wall? I mean,
Yeah.
you can texture your walls, you could texture your ceilings, you could texture furniture.
even
just
textures in
think
like our
the
work, we should make that the trend.
Rural,
Hmm.
make textures. Rural, good.
Adya, what do you got?
The Pantone color of 2024 is predicted to be peachy fuzz.
That's your prediction, or that's what
No, they already predicted that. It's
they? Oh, they already.
a light peachy, orangish, pinky color.
Okay.
I'm
Really?
gonna predict that people in 2024 are gonna stay more bold than that.
Yellow.
I don't think.
And
Like, just looking at the colors, like, I wouldn't wear that. I wouldn't put that on. I'm like, I don't see any use for this. Peachy fuzz. It's like a peachy pink, and I get it. Like, I mean, it's the color of kind of like of a rosé, which is relaxing and springtimey. But I'm gonna say that things are gonna be bolder than that in 2024.
that's hot, yeah. I think that they're going to be hotter too, because I don't think people are ready to go back to peach. They're not ready to go back to beige.
I mean, we're still in the
So why
90s,
would they go
right?
peach?
With our style, like we're back in the 90s. The 90s wouldn't do peach.
Yeah, no peach.
Huh.
No.
It's like lighter
going-
than that color right there, a little bit. We'll show it, but like
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Huh.
a nice color.
Oh, it's in but I think
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's not a nice color. Not for a house.
Yeah,
not for
whoever
the
painted
color of
that.
the year.
That's a little Pepto-Bismol-y, you know?
Yeah. I think it's
Nothing
gonna be more
nothing
electric.
against Pepto-Bismol.
Sure.
This year's got more.
More energy.
Yeah. It's all
Yeah.
even numbers, and I love even numbers.
You mean 2024?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's even. Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
20,
So my
24.
prediction is probably a tech one.
Mhm.
It's I think that you're gonna start to see a lot of these. They're just coming out. These smart glasses that have cameras embedded in them. Yeah, I think you're gonna start to see them very, very regularly. And I think that they're actually going to be intriguing enough that you might even find that you're interested in having them. And so that's my prediction. Now, predictions are are an attempt at showing what's going to happen in the future. We might be way off. And I want to make certain that we come back to these predictions because I want to see how close or how far off we were.
I think
Okay,
mine
my
is right.
boomers.
I can make mine right. I feel like I can get enough people to say that wasn't the color of the year. No, I don't know.
My boomer is showing because why would you want glasses with camera in it?
Oh, so it's really fascinating. So I said I wasn't going to talk about AI. No, they've actually added this layer. So it's really interesting. So first of all, you can record wherever you look, you can record. Okay. So it's like having a GoPro, but it's embedded in your glasses. I mean, it's a tiny, tiny camera, but it's embedded in your glasses. And they look like glasses. They look like sunglasses or glasses. I think you can even get prescription. I'm not certain about that. Don't quote me on that. But also now they are testing. So this is where AI comes in. They're adding AI into it so that now you can wear these glasses and you can look over, you can look in a room or out at the woods or a plant. So there was an example of a plant that was kind of dying and this guy said, hey, can you help me figure out how I can actually help this dying plant? And AI gave him advice on how to actually improve the life of this plant that was right in front of him. So AI is actually seeing the world around through your eyes and telling you how, and supposedly it's going to even allow you to know how to fix electrical switches, all of these layers that you just wouldn't have imagined, like where did I, you look at this table, I'm looking at my desk and it's a bit of a mess. Where did I put my thing again? And it could actually tell you, oh, well, it's right underneath that piece of paper. It's like, it could end up being at that level, which is just kind of wild.
Would you wear the glasses if you don't need glasses?
Well, I need glasses, so I don't know. That's a great question.
Or maybe you would wear the glasses so that you can record everything.
Maybe.
Because
Yeah.
That's the answer. That's the answer to why movies about the future, the people move so stiffly.
Because they're wearing glasses that are recording everything?
They're wearing glasses and they're taking pictures of what's around them. And they can't just do like this, like you might have done in the 70s. So you have to, you can't do that. You can't do that in the future. In the future, you have to move like
Scan.
in every movie about the future, even Star Trek, the people are real stiff. And I used to go, this is ridiculous. Why are they so stiff? And now we know.
Now you know they were just in 2024.
Yeah. They were just in 2024. They knew, we have to move like this because we're taking pictures of everything.
Thanks for getting me excited about this year, Monica. I feel like I've arrived now.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
I'm at
great.
Star
I'm
Trek
excited.
level.
Yeah, this is gonna be a slower year. I didn't even realize it.
All being moving like this. Now we just have to find out why they talk that way.
Because they want the microphones maybe haven't gotten good enough, and they need to make sure
They
that
need to
all
talk
of
like
their
this.
sentences are
I am
recorded.
from the future. Yeah.
I'm gonna rewatch
That's
Her.
probably-
Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
Well, I want to rewatch that now that AI is actually here and now that there's all these ways in which you can interact. I want to rewatch that because I'm very curious about how it's going to feel, like how close, not fashion-wise, but just the AI aspects of it. Does it feel close or does it feel farther away? It feels like a bunch of movies that were about the prediction of what was going to happen in 2024.
There's a specific 2024
Well,
thing?
this
Oh.
era. You know, kind of like the future of Back to the Future was
Yeah.
actually a few years ago, and
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
where
It's-
things are.
It's so funny. Yeah, it's so funny how you get to the future. People predict the future, and you get there, but you don't get there the way you thought you would get there. Because when I was in first grade, we had this weekly reader. There was this one weekly reader about the future, and they were showing people talking on phones, and you could, they called it a camera phone or a video or some, no, they didn't use video. They said camera phone, or that you, in the future, you'll be able to talk to people on the phone and you'll be able to see them. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. You know, because we had dial-up phones at the time. And here it is. And it happened. All of it happened, but it's not the way you thought it was going to happen. It's not the picture. They had a picture of a pink monitor on a table, and that you would see, you know, your grandma on the pink monitor. Well, it's not like that, but it happened. So now we'll know why they move like that.
But it's also why that's
It's gonna happen. Not the way you thought it was gonna happen.
But
Yeah.
eventually
you
we'll
know.
know why they're so stiff.
Yeah, we'll know why. Yeah.
It's also why it's hard to make bets about a specific future, right? So it's kind of like back in the mid 80s, there were a bunch of people that bet against Apple. I mean, I guess there are always people that bet against specific companies or specific people. But to your point, like, you know, there is this trajectory of the future that it's shades of what was predicted. It's not always exactly the same, but it's and you know, generally I'd say it's pretty positive or optimistic. I'm an optimist about where we're going, you know, around tech and all these different areas and the social makeup. It's so, yeah, I think there's a lot of potential in 2024. I'm hoping, I'm betting on humanity in 2024. I think we've got good things coming.
And on that note, go forth into 2024 and make it happen.
All right, thanks so much,
Let the
Monica.
force be with you.
Yeah, or let the force
Let the force be
be
with you.
with you.
all
Well, May
kinds of
the
new
4th.
With
Forgot.
you.
reference.
May.
May the force be with you.
Get back to work.
Copyright Lucasfilm.
Bye.
Bye.